Physical training. Can we maybe just bypass the entire thing? Just say the card is bad, don't play it, and that's it? I probably should talk about it a little bit. The main thing about this card is that it can raise your head, and as a guardian, you don't have very many ways of doing it at all. And the game is scary. The game has a bunch of treachery cards that test your head, and if you fail, they're going to deal you horror. They're going to take away your assets. They're going to waste your actions. Maybe they just say that you're not functioning at all, which is kind of scary. And this card wraps you in a blanket, raises your head score, says, now you can pass those tests, yay, go you. And maybe that's good. The card actually does help you solve those cards. And if you fail the Crypt Chill test, maybe you can discard the card for it, which is probably honestly the best way of using the card. Uh, the problem with the card though is that Guardians don't have resources. Guardians have a few cards for generating resources, but those cards aren't very efficient at doing that. And even if we forgo this part, if we say, okay, fine, we have resources, what next? It just doesn't provide much value. It's bad conversion rate. You spend a lot to gain little. And also just opportunity cost. This card could have been something else in your deck that would have been more helpful. I have to admit though, we have few ways of raising head. The card does sound kind of appealing, but just don't. Instead, you can pass a few tests with skills, with guts, with take the initiative. Not unexpected courage though, because just too expensive. You have to waste a card for two question marks and then that's it. You don't have anything. Take the initiative at least gives you three, right? But there's a problem with it. Even if you draw all four of your skills, which is probably not going to happen throughout the scenario, but whatever, even if you do, you're not taking four head tests, you're probably taking more, meaning you have to pick and choose what you're using these skills on. And you're going to pick and choose which treachery cards you're going to fail on purpose. And as a guardian, you actually have a lot of ways of dealing with these treachery cards when you fail them. You say, okay, fine, I'm going to fail this Rotten Remains. I'm going to take all three horror and I'm going to be fine with this. I'm going to survive it because I have something worth fighting for, because I have Medical Student, because I have Hollowed Mirror, because I have a bunch of allies that I can assign horror to, because when an enemy attacks me, maybe I have a dodge and I just cancel that attack. I'm not scared of dying of horror, even if I'm Roland and I have 5 sanity. Like, we're fine, right? And then when you draw the Crypt Chill, and it just so happens that you're out of your throwaway assets, maybe then you commit a skill. Or maybe you draw something else like Frozen and Fear, and maybe then you commit your take the initiative, right? So in general, that's my way of solving these head tests of the Guardian. Just fail half of them and deal with them in other ways. Also, and this is going to be a terrifying wall of text, but that's the way I like my slides. Guardians and like investigator cards in general have a bunch of other text on them. Maybe you have access to cards that are not blue. Maybe you just happen to have four hat. Or maybe you're not sure, in which case, well, good luck. Uh, I also want to mention Jenny Barnes because when you're just starting out and you're playing your Dunwich thing, and you look at the Dunwich investigators, and you look at Jenny Barnes, and she's just so simple, so nice. She has threes in all of her stats, meaning she can probably pass any test, and she gets more money than everybody else, so appealing. And then you think, well, how am I going to capitalize on this ability, on this big brain wonderful ability of having so much money? Well, maybe I play physical training because now I can pass all the treachery cards and all the fight tests. Wow. And then you try it, and it turns out that having a bit more money isn't enough to make the card work. So this is a trap. Don't get baited by it. When I was starting out, I got baited by it. Warning you, don't do this. Here are some cards that can be played in Jenny Barnes that are not green. You only have 5 of color cards. Choose wisely and never put physical training in your deck, even if it sounds sort of kind of reasonable. It's not. It never is. So, the card is bad. Don't play it. It's theoretically useful, so it's not a 1, but like, don't. And fun ranking is always fun doesn't matter out of 10, because fun doesn't win scenarios, also this card should not exist.